Okay, let's talk about something that might ruffle a few feathers. Have you ever wondered why some people who, let's be honest, were not academic superstars, go on to build these incredible empires, while so many of these smartest people we know seem to get stuck in a rut? I mean, you've seen it, right? It's this weird paradox. The class valedictorian is working a respectable 9 to 5, while the C student from the back of the room is now the CEO of a huge company. It just doesn't seem to make sense. But believe me, there's some really fascinating psychology going on here. And get this, the average GPA of a millionaire. It's not a 4.0, it's not even close. It's a 2.9. And that's not just a fluke. This is our first major clue that the skills that get you A's in school are not necessarily the same skills that make you a fortune out in the real world. Now, I want to be super clear. When we say dumb in this context, we're not talking about intelligence. Not at all. What we're really talking about is a mindset. It's a willingness to just jump in and act without having all the answers, to prioritize just doing something over endless, meticulous planning. And it's this bias for action that often leads to incredible success. So let's break down the why. It turns out that being really smart can actually backfire. It can lead you right into three major psychological traps that honestly can keep you from ever building real wealth. So, trap number one is what we call analysis paralysis. You know how it is. Smart people are amazing at spotting what could go wrong. They can map out 1,000 reasons why an idea will fail, and they get completely stuck in their own heads. Meanwhile, someone else, with maybe a little less information, just goes for it. It's this uninformed optimism. They're not overthinking it, they just take the shot. All right, the second trap is all about identity. Think about it. If you've been the smart kid your whole life, that becomes who you are, right? It's your brand. And that creates this deep, intense fear of any situation where you might look foolish or incompetent, because it threatens that very identity you've worked so hard to build. And that is the absolute key. It's not actually about failing. Nope. It's about being seen as a failure by other people. The fear of being judged, of someone thinking you're not so smart after all, can be so powerful that it literally paralyzes you. It keeps you from trying anything new or risky in the first place. And trap number three, it's a broken risk radar. Smart people are pros at identifying potential downsides. The problem is, they get too good at it. They see risk everywhere they look, and they completely overestimate the danger of taking action. And what they totally miss is the massive, hidden risk of doing nothing at all. They play it safe, and they end up missing out on the exact opportunities that create wealth. Okay, check out this contrast. It's a tale of two risks. On one hand, you have smart Yahoo in 1998. They get the chance to buy Google for $1 million. $1 million. They pass. They do it again a few years later for $5 billion. They just overanalyzed it to death. On the other hand, you have this crazy, dumb risk. FedEx is about to go bankrupt. The founder, Fred Smith, takes the company's last $5,000 to Vegas, plays blackjack. He turns it into 27 grand, pays the fuel bill, and boom, saves the company. Absolutely insane, right? But it worked. So it really makes you wonder, if playing it smart and safe can cost you $1 trillion company, what's the real gamble here? Yeah, it turns out the biggest, most dangerous financial move you can possibly make is to take no risk at all, just standing still. So now that we know the traps, the big question is, how do we get out of them? Well, the good news is you don't need a lobotomy. You just have to learn to dumb down your approach. So let's dive into 3 really simple strategies that help you bypass all those smart person traps by focusing on action and, you guessed it, simplicity. Strategy number 1 is model, then modify. Okay, so smart people, we love to invent something totally new from square one. But the dumber approach, the one that actually works way better, you find someone who's already crushing it, and you just copy their playbook to get started. It's not cheating, it's just being strategic. And listen to this, entrepreneurs who just copy a proven model have a 20% higher chance of survival. So don't reinvent the wheel. Just get the thing rolling, and you can add fancy custom rims later. The second strategy is all about finding your zone of genius. This just means figuring out that one thing you do that creates the most value. And then you get to be strategically dumb about pretty much everything else. Smart people often feel this pressure to be good at everything, but the people who really make it big, they pour all their brain power into that one thing, and they delegate, automate, or just plain ignore the rest. So how do you find this zone? Well, there's this awesome Japanese concept called ikigai that gives us a roadmap. You ask yourself 4 questions. The sweet spot, right in the middle, where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for all overlap. Bam, that's your zone of genius. That is where you should be putting your chips on the table. And this leads me to one of my favorite sayings, and it's absolutely perfect for our last strategy. Simple scales, complex fails. In business, in life, whatever, complexity is the enemy of getting things done and growing. So what's the plan? How do we actually do this? Well, our third and final strategy is all about a ruthless commitment to taking action over getting stuck in analysis. And the secret weapon here is simplicity. I mean, just think about the guy who founded Sriracha. For 40 years, his business plan was, well, kind of dumb on paper. He had one product, one iconic bottle. He didn't chase trends. He didn't diversify. He didn't overcomplicate anything. He just did one simple thing perfectly. The result? He's a billionaire. It just goes to show you the simplest solution is usually the right one. And if you want a great way to put this into practice, there's a framework called the 5 1s Credo. The whole idea is you commit for 1 solid year to focusing on just one target market, one product, one way to convert them, and one channel to find them. That's it. No distractions. No chasing shiny new objects. That kind of laser focus, that's how you get crazy results. And this right here, this is the last big mindset shift you've got to make. See, smart people tend to wait. They wait for everything to be perfectly clear before they make a move. But here's the secret. Clarity isn't something you get from thinking, it's a reward you get from doing. Action is what gives you the feedback and the data you need to figure things out. You don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to take that first step. So let's bring it all back to you. Forget about the massive, complex, perfect plan for just a second. What's the one super simple, maybe even dumb action you can take right now to just get the ball rolling? What's the one thing you can dumb down to finally get started?